Representing the business of boxing, ladies and gentlemen, let's hear it for Manager Marty.
Thank you. You're far too kind. Thank you very much.
All right, listen, Bill, we gotta get to it. The lawsuit, Bill. Bill. We gotta. Why did y'all do the lawsuit, Bill? That was because for me, I was like, damn, why?
Because listen, and you got that's the elephant in the room because there's only, and especially when you're a black man, if the only thing that you've ever been done is sued, is got sued, you know, because you probably never sued anyone for anything. No, so you won't understand this shit. It's big business. It's part of business.
Don't do that. Don't do that.
No, let me tell you.
Don't do that.
Well, listen, let me graduate. Let me graduate you and educate you.
Let me hear.
You did.
Yeah.
Not only did we work with all of the promoters, we understand the business and what business represents. And where we come from is the bullshit. That's what they want you to do.
But you know where we come from.
Yeah. And guess what? That's where Dirk, that's where Thug just got off on, that's where Yellow Beezy, that's where historically they go, don't they?
Yeah, that's a fact.
What did B.A.J. do? Did he beat him?
That's a fact.
Did he beat him?
I gotta give you that. I give you respect for that.
Okay, all right.
I give you respect for
all right.
That.
Ladies and gentlemen, members of the jury, members of the Roll the Tape Film crew, welcome to another episode of Roll the Tape podcast with Manager Marty. I'm your host, Manager Marty. We need answers. I try to leave this subject title alone. I try to leave this topic alone. But every time, I let it go. They keep pulling me right back in. Welcome to everybody that's live and live in color right now. Welcome. Come on in. Grab a plate. I have some food to serve you. Some food for thought. Welcome if you are new to the channel. If you are a subscriber, if you are a member of the channel, supervisor of the Roll the Tape Film crew, I want to say from the bottom of my heart, welcome. If you are watching the replay of this live, welcome. If you are a hater, if you are a spy, if you are a detractor, welcome. You may have been sent to come over here by someone else for whatever reason. I welcome you. We need answers. Pull up a chair. Before you sit down, grab a plate. I have some food that I want to serve you. Some food for thought. Just so you know, if you are new to the channel, I am the most qualified, but the most insulted, the most imitated, and the most controversial content creator in the YouTube boxing community. So we're going to get down to using real life current events as teachable moments so that I can break down the business of boxing to educate you, the audience, and also provide you with entertainment. Salute to everybody that's in the chat. Much love and respect to each and every last one of you. And then double salute to all of the members of the channel, supervisors of the Roll the Tape Film crew that's in the chat and that's watching me live and live in color. I don't even know where to start. But you know what I'm going to do today? On this Good Friday? I'm going to let the chat tell me, what do y'all want to hear first? How y'all want me to start the show out? Shakur Stevenson versus William Zepeda, official, or Bill Haney and Floyd Schofield Senior is done? Which one? Which one y'all want first? Y'all tell me. Hey, I'm just serving the food. Okay? I'm just serving the food. Y'all tell me what you want to hear first. Because I'm going in today. Y'all tell me which one y'all want to hear. What we talking about first? Somebody said the father's last. Okay, cool. Y'all cool with that? Everybody all right with that? Y'all straight? Tell me what y'all think. Tell me what y'all think. Come on, hurry up. Let's get it in. Y'all want Shakur Stevenson as the Zepeda first? Or y'all want Bill Haney and Floyd Schofield Senior first? Which y'all want me to talk about first? This for the live chat that's right here. This for the live chat. This live. This is live. We live in living color. What y'all want to hear first? Let's talk about it. What we talking about? Huh? Hold up. What we talking about? All right, we got Schofield and them first. Somebody said yes to that, and then somebody else before him said Shakur Stevenson is the Zepeda first. What y'all want to hear for? What we talking about first? Let's get it. Let's get it. Where we at? With the live chat. I got one of the hottest chats on YouTube. In the boxing community, that is. Bar none, hands down. Y'all want to talk to fighters first? All right, cool. Let's talk to fighters first. All right, but before that, though, right? Because we have the live audience, and I'm trying to let everybody come on in. I have a couple of questions about something. But since y'all came early today, you came to class early today, I want to ask y'all a question about something. This does not have anything to do with Zepeda, Shakur Stevenson, Bill Haney, or Floyd Schofield Senior. Because I don't mean to start no controversy. You know what? I do mean to start controversy. I want to ask y'all a question because my main man, Pots and Pans, D-Rock, he might be in here watching. If he is, double salute to my guy, D-Rock, representing the city. He is my guy, by the way. He sent me something this morning, right? And I want to play it for you. Yeah, I want to play it for all of you because I have a question about something. And since you all came to class early, we're going to start the show off right. A little bit of controversy. We're going to get to Shakur Stevenson versus Williams Zepeda. We're going to get to Bill Haney and Floyd Schofield Senior. We're going to get to them. I want to play you guys and ladies something real quick. Shout out to my man D-Rock. My guy D-Rock from Philly, man. And that's my personal homie. It's not even that he's a member of the channel or a fan of Manager Marty. No, he is my homie. He's my guy, friend of mine. He sent me something this morning at 8:27 a.m. to be exact. He just sent it to me. It was a clip. I want to play it for my audience, the Roll the Tape family. I want to see what y'all think about this. You know what? I'm doing way too much talking. Don't take my word for it. Roll the tape.
This video from Bomac talking about how, he supports Smack and how he takes Smack and his team takes Smack as well. This is how I feel about that shit. Good! Listen, bro, Smack doesn't top. We don't like that, it's associated with who I think is the biggest cheater in sports history. And he needs to bulk up and still keep his speed and explosiveness against Canelo. You remember when I said, dude, bathe in that shit. Don't even mix it and drink it. Drink it, eat it, throw the powder on, exfoliate with Snack, bro, because you're going to need every bit of it against Saul Canelo Alvarez. And I ain't joking. That's where I'm at. Take it, because Canelo Alvarez is way
We've heard enough. I got a question on that. Let's do an audio check. Did everybody hear that? Can we do a mic check? Mic check, 1 2 1 2. Is my lavalier on? Hello, hello, hello. Check 1 2 1 2 1 2. Did y'all hear that? Let's do an audio check now. I don't mean to start any controversy. Okay, maybe I do want to start controversy. I just want to make sure we can all hear that. Did everyone, can I get a yes or no in the chat? If you're watching the replay of this live and you're in the comments section below, just yes or no, or the letter Y that represents yes, and or the letter N that represents the word no. Did everybody hear that? I got somebody in the live chat that says he heard it. Okay. I have a couple questions about that, but I want to make sure everybody heard that first. Do I have to play that again? Huh? Do I have to play that audio again? I just have a few questions about it. That's all. I don't want to start no controversy. All right, I do want to start controversy, but I just want to play it again. Somebody in the live chat told me to play it again. Okay, I'm gonna play it one more again. Not one more time, but one more again. That's for my audience members from down south. One more again. I'm gonna play it one more again. I want to make sure that we all on the same page, because I got a couple of questions about that. That's all. Okay, I'm gonna play it again now. Now, when I play it again, the people that's sitting in the last pew on the last row of the church, all the way in the back, is for them. Okay, I'm gonna play it one more again now. I'm gonna play it one more again. I just had a couple questions about it. That's all. That's all. Okay. Don't take my word for it. Roll the tape.
This video from Bomac talking about how, he supports Smack and how he takes Smack and his team takes Smack as well. This is how I feel about that shit. Good! Listen, bro, Smack doesn't top. We don't like that, is associated with who I think is the biggest cheater in sports history. And he needs to bulk up and still keep his speed and explosiveness against Canelo. You remember what I said, dude, bathe in that shit. Don't even mix it and drink it. Drink it, eat it, throw the powder on, exfoliate with Snack, bro, because you're going to need every bit of it against Saul Canelo Alvarez. And I ain't joking. That's where I'm at. Take it, because Canelo Alvarez is way too much at 168. Terrence, take the damn Snack.
All right, we've heard enough. Did y'all hear that? I think at this point we all heard it. I have a couple questions about it. That's all. I'm just trying to figure out, why is everybody talking about Snack now? Let me reframe that statement. Since when did other content creators make Snack, Vada, and or Victor Conti, or all of the above their topic of discussions? I do have an answer for that, because the last time I checked, most people didn't know nothing about Snack and Victor Conti and Vada and the connection with all three before Manager Marty spoke on that. You see, I've done research on all three of the things I just mentioned: Victor Conti, his Snack program and company, and even Vada, for the past 15 years. I just want that to be clear. To be exact, 14 years when it comes to Vada specifically. But everything that involves performance enhancing drugs and performance enhancements in general in sports, including boxing, I've done journalistic. I've done journalistic research. I've conducted investigative research. I've completed homework assignments, self-assigned homework assignments. And I have waited till the proper and appropriate time to speak on it, particularly for all my newcomers, all my new members of the audience who did not know too much about me in the beginning of almost 2 years of me being on YouTube. I waited until after Terrence Crawford fought Errol Spence to speak on it. I just want to make sure, I just want to make sure we all on the same page here now. Because we know that showbiz have a large channel, a large audience. I don't know too much about him. I do know that he used a portion of my video and spoke on a reference about what Victor Conti said on my channel when Victor Conti told me in the first interview that he believed that Errol Spence have been diagnosed by himself with altitude sickness in preparation for the Terrence Crawford fight. Now, did Showbiz shout me out in that video that he used my content on? Yes, he did. In fact, I was sent that portion of what he said by another content creator, whom I won't say the person's name. But the bottom line is, we all know at this point that all large, small, and medium content creators in the YouTube boxing community, at this point, they know exactly who I am. And they've all been exposed to portions of my content on this channel. All I'm trying to figure out is, how come nobody else was talking about Snack and Victor Conti as much as I have before I got here? It's just a question. I don't want to start no controversy. Okay, I do want to start a little controversy, but it's just a question. That's all it is. Basically, what I'm getting at is, more precisely, is that people started talking about Snack and Victor Conti more consistently after being exposed to my content, after learning about the connection from this content that you on right now, you, the live audience, you, the Roll the Tape Film Crew family, you, the ones and audience members that's watching the replay of this live. Yeah, let's keep it all the way 100 now. I just want to make sure we clear on that. We know who the origin of the information came from. Me. Now, I'm not saying all this to get no clout. I'm not saying all of this to get a pat on the back. I'm not saying all of this so that people can give me credit. All I'm saying is, if you a content creator and you wasn't talking about Victor Conti, Snack, and or Vada or all of the above before Manager Marty came on the scene, and you learned at least one or more things about the aforementioned topics of Snack, Victor Conti, and Vada, I only have one request. When you speak on it, especially when you learned it from me, go ahead and give me a shout out. It's the right thing to do. It's called good business. For real, if you monetize, especially when you come over on my content, whether you in the live chat and you want people to know that you are here or not, if you're a content creator and you come pull up on my channel when I'm live, or you watch any of my published content and you learn something about Snack, Vada, and Victor Conti, then drop me a Cash App. Let me put it on the screen so people can be aware of what the Cash App is. It's at the bottom of the screen right now. Yo, drop me a Cash App. Little $1.99. I mean, because your channel is monetized, right? You're using references based on the homework and an investigative journalism that I have conducted, the research, right? Oh, okay. You eating food from my restaurant, and then you taking my menu and my ingredients to your own restaurant, serving it. I'm not mad or nothing. I'm just saying let's do good business if we're going to do good business. That's all I'm saying. You don't have to give me a cash yet, but a little shout out to Manager Marty. Just a little. I appreciate Manager Marty because I learned this from him. That's all it is. And I have to give credit for where it is. Excuse me. I have to give credit where it's due. Because for nine, on numerous occasions, for nine, International Boxing Channel, for nine, he actually, on numerous of occasions, have given me credit and shouted me out when he talked about the aforementioned topics of Snack, Victor Conti, and or Vada, or all of the above. Not just in his live videos, but also on his published content. So double salute to Fanon. But I haven't heard too many people go on their platform, talk about this particular topic, and say, I learned this from Manager Marty. And say, shout out to Manager Marty. And say, just like Manager Marty say, it's only a handful. I got to keep it 100. I'm going to shout these people out right now. Shout out to Deem by any means. Shout out to 2 Cents Boxing. Shout out to D1. I don't know the rest of his name and on his channel, but I know D1. D1. Who else probably that I heard? Give me credit a little bit. If I'm missing somebody, I apologize. But those are the couple of names that came to mind immediately. All right. That's all I'm saying. Because before I got here, people wasn't talking about Snack Victor Vada on a consistent basis. Now, was I talking about this for the last 15 years, going on 16 years? Absolutely. I just didn't have a boxing channel. Boxing Ego did shout me out one time. Once again, just like Showbiz, he shouted me out when he used a piece of my audio when he said, shout out to Manager Marty, because Victor Conti was talking about Errol Spence with altitude sickness. That's the same video. Everybody was that when Victor Conti said that right here, live in living color on this channel, when he talked to me the first time he came, not the second time, the first time he came here. He said he believed that Errol Spence was suffering from altitude sickness in preparation in his training camp for the Terrence Crawford fight. Boxing Ego shouted me out when he used the audio of that. And so did Showbiz. But ever since then, no one has been shouting me out. And I can, and guess what? I ain't mad, but let's keep it real. I can run down the list of names when people start talking about Snack and Vada and Victor Conti, and they did not shout me out. I'm not trying to start any All right, I might be trying to start controversy, but the point is, give credit where it's due. If you're reading a book from an author and then you make a quote from the author's book, you got to shout that quote out with the author's name, right or wrong. Oh, okay. But people, including Boxing Ego and including Showbiz, have been talking about Snack, Vada, and or Victor Conti after their whole altitude sickness comment was made here. And I haven't heard too many people say, shout out to Manager Marty. Salute to Manager Marty. Thank you, Manager Marty. I heard this from Manager Marty. I've learned this from Manager Marty. Or like Manager Marty say. And all I'm saying is give credit where it's due. I'm not dropping any names. I'm saying from the YouTube boxing community, period. Just tell the people where you got your information from. That's all it is. Ain't no beef or nothing. Y'all know me. I don't sneak this. Y'all know me. Let's keep it all the way real and be honest and have integrity in the business. When I say integrity, I mean when we talk about broadcast journalism. Yeah. You don't have to pay me no cash yet if you're a content creator. But if you coming over here freeloading and you getting information that you ain't find nowhere else, make sure when you go in front of your audience, just drop my name a little bit. It don't matter if you have a small channel, a medium channel, or a large size channel. Drop my name, man. Because I put the work in. I don't ask for much. Now that we got that out the way, enough with the hugs, handshakes, and Valentine's Day cards. Let's get with Shakur Stevenson versus Zepeda. Now, first and foremost, let me be clear on something. We keep hearing that it's official. Now, let's be clear on this also, because this is as equally as important. Shakur Stevenson was at the Boots fight when Boots fought last weekend against Stan Jonas. He was there, right? He was there, and he was being interviewed. I don't know the woman's name that was interviewing him. I don't know her, her channel, or if she's from the Zone. I don't know, but he was talking with a microphone in front of his face. Okay. And then I looked on YouTube, and his the interview part was there. And what he said was, this is a quote from Shakur now, that he's in negotiations to fight William Zepeda right now. And if Tank Davis said that he was ready to fight him now, he would basically drop the negotiations between him and Zepeda, put that on standby, and fight Tank Davis right now. That's what he said. I'm talking about Shakur Stevenson. That's what Shakur said. And Shakur Stevenson, as we know at this point, he also apologized publicly for what he was saying about Turkey al-Sheikh. Now, let me give you my take on that real quick. I actually commend Shakur Stevenson. I'm sure at this point he's probably getting some backlash from other people because he actually apologized to Turkey al-Sheikh. But you know what? I actually respect Shakur for that. Let me tell you what I respect about it so we can all be on the same page. I respect the way that Shakur went about it, more specifically. Meaning that Shakur Stevenson made public statements about Turkey al-Sheikh through his Twitter account, right? Okay. So apparently there was something rectified behind the scenes that maybe I don't know too much about. However, Shakur Stevenson used that same platform that he used to make statements about Turkey al-Sheikh that were not favorable, but he used that same platform to come right back and apologize to make it right publicly. I respect that. It's no different than what I told Blue Blood, aka Blue Balls, aka Blueberry, when I told him the same thing in Las Vegas when I pulled up on him. In other words, he said to me, this is Blue Blood now. I'm using that as a reference. I'm not bringing up no old issues. I'm just using it as a reference. But Blue Blood told me face to face, man to man, that I thought it was you that flagged my channel. Maybe it wasn't you, but I did think it was you. But we also know that Blue Blood lied, not only saying it was me, but he lied and said that YouTube will actually notify you and tell you exactly who it is that flagged your channel. That's what made Fanon come out and say to Blue Blood on Everything Boxing's platform when we all were there on the panel that that's not true. YouTube don't notify you and tell you who it was. So when Blue Blood recognized that in my face in Las Vegas by saying, I did think it was you, but you're right, okay. I told Blue Blood the same way you lied on me publicly before your audience, and you claimed in front of hundreds and thousands of people on your platform that I flagged your channel, and you said it so convincingly when you knew in your heart I didn't do that. You put that name, you put that on my jacket. You put that on my reputation and my name. You should use that same platform in front of that same audience that you use to try to disrespect, insult, and humiliate me. Yeah, you talking to me about it in private now, that you was wrong for that. You need to go back to your audience in front of them same hundreds and thousands of people and clear my name and do it with integrity and honor. Did he do that yet? Absolutely not. So I brought all that up to say, I'm not being biased when I'm talking about Shakur Stevenson, because that's a principle and philosophy I live by. If you disrespect someone publicly, if you humiliate someone publicly, if you make a statement that's false publicly, if you assume something and then realize later on that you're wrong, guess what you got to do? You got to come right back out publicly and make amends on that. The same method that you use to make that error and you recognize you was wrong or you want to rectify it, that's the same method that you got to use to correct it. That's the principle of life. So that's why I respect the way and the method that Shakur Stevenson used. I give him credit for that. I put a feather in his cap for having good character on that note. We can talk about anything else later, but I'm just talking about on that front alone, man to man, I respect Shakur for how he went about that. He made a public statement. Apparently, he recognized that the way that he went about that was either wrong, either he made a mistake or he rectified it. But he came back publicly and used that same method to make it right with Turkey Al-Sheikh and whoever else he made comments about. As a man with integrity, I respect that. Now, with that being said, Oscar De La Hoya recently conducted an interview. Sorry about that. Oscar De La Hoya recently conducted the interview, and he was asked about the Williams Zepeda versus Shakur Stevenson fight. And I wanted to play a piece of the audio with that. However, Two Cents Boxing says he got punked. Hey, listen, I don't know. I don't have any definitive proof or evidence that Shakur Stevenson got punked by Turkey Al-Sheikh or anyone else behind the scenes. I don't have any evidence of that, me personally. So I can't discredit that man for coming out publicly and apologizing if I don't have any direct evidence or proof that he got punked. Now, if he did get punked, for me personally, I would need to hear audio or see evidence of that for me to retract what I'm saying. I don't know if he got punked or not. I'm not sure. But all I can go by is what I know thus far and what I've seen through social media. You know what I mean? And I haven't seen a post from Turkey Al-Sheikh. Now, I wasn't searching for it, but maybe Turkey Al-Sheikh did make a comment publicly on Shakur. I don't know. But if anybody have evidence on that, feel free to send it to me. Before I play this little audio real quick of a recently published interview that Oscar De La Hoya conducted talking about Williams Zepeda and Shakur Stevenson, let me give my guys a shout out. Sponsors of the channel, Quartler Manus LLC. They are personal injury attorneys, personal injury lawyers in the states of Pennsylvania and the state of New Jersey. Their website, wefightwewin.com. Y'all see it at the bottom of your screen. I'm going to let it rock out probably throughout the duration of this broadcast. If you need a personal injury lawyer in the state of Pennsylvania, any city in the state of Pennsylvania, and in the state of New Jersey, any city in the state of New Jersey, please reach out to them. They are my guys. They're not just sponsors of the channel. They are also a recommendation from me personally, because within the last 10 years, I have used their services on about 2 different occasions, separate incidents, and I've also recommended them to family members and friends since 2015. And when they say we fight, we win, that's not a slogan because I'm in the community of boxing. That has been their slogan and their mentality from the first day that I've met them. So wefightwewin.com. They also have their phone number listed. In the next live or 2 that I do, you'll see me advertise them with wearing their apparel and their paraphernalia to promote their brand. But they are sponsors of the channel and friends of the channel. So shout out to Quartler Manus LLC. Appreciate all the great work that they're doing in the states of Pennsylvania and New Jersey. Any personal injury issue that you run across, you might just need consultation. You might need representation. They're the guys to go to. They fight and they win. And speaking of representation, I told y'all before, and I'm going to say it again, it's my slogan. It's a quote that I invented because it's real through my experiences in business and my experiences in the business of boxing. Good representation is priceless, especially in boxing. And so William Zepeda's representation, Golden Boy Promotions, Oscar De La Hoya conducted an interview, recent interview, and he was asked about the fight. And I wanted to play you a small little excerpt of that because it's very interesting to me how a lot of times the fighters may not be on the same page with another fighter's promoter. And that's why that fighter who's not on the same page must make sure that they receive the services of good representation. And if they have representation, that they hold their representation accountable to do their job. Because at the end of the day, this representation is also getting paid. So let me cue up this audio real quick. And we're going to hear what Oscar De La Hoya had to say about it. Here's Oscar De La Hoya, recent interview conducted by FightHype.com on YouTube, of course. Don't take my word for it. Roll the tape.
I think the big fight that the fans want is Zepeda versus Shakur. Yeah. By the way, Shakur's been tweeting. It seems like he's very confident that the fight is trending towards happening. Any update on that? Yeah, no, look, this is the fight we all want. This is the fight that everybody has been asking for, so including Zepeda, and we have our deal in place with Zepeda. So I have no doubt that this fight will happen. I have no doubt that Shakur Stevenson, William Zepeda, Golden Boy, we will make it happen. You know, there were a few. I don't know if it was. Shakur feels you guys are kind of avoiding it. No, not at all. Not at all. You're on it. You're not avoiding it. Zero. Zepeda wants him. I thought he was avoiding it. I thought Shakur was avoiding it. Yeah. But no, I think that fight's going to move forward. I think I've always told Shakur I respect him. Great fighter. It's going to be a good fight. Yeah, may the best man win. Cool. Thank you, Oscar. Appreciate it. Great fighter.
That was Oscar De La Hoya. He said he has no doubt in his mind that the fight between Shakur Stevenson and William Zepeda is actually going to happen. That's what he said. I do think that the fight will happen. I also think that it's not going to be an easy fight for either one of those guys. I believe that William Zepeda will be Shakur Stevenson's toughest opponent, and I also think that Shakur Stevenson will be William Zepeda's toughest opponent. When they will fight, or when will they fight, rather, I don't know. That remains to be seen, but it seems like all parties are on board. Oscar De La Hoya and the representation of Shakur Stevenson, Eddie Hearn through Matchroom, obviously they have put on a couple of shows together through cross promotion and cross marketing, obviously with the help of Turkey Al Sheikh and DAZN and the Ring magazine, etc. But it's clear at this point, and both of them have publicly acknowledged it, Eddie Hearn and De La Hoya, that they're ready to conduct business together and not allow any past issues or discrepancies interfere with their negotiations, and them representing both fighters moving forward. And that's actually good for business. And I think it's a good fight that the fans really yearn for. We know that Shakur Stevenson was scheduled to fight Floyd Schofield Jr., a.k.a. Kid Austin. But of course, Kid Austin was diagnosed with cold feet. Now, I don't know how many pair of socks you have to wear to warm your feet up, but I believe he was diagnosed with cold feet. And so was his dad. And we're going to get to that in a few seconds. But he couldn't fight Kid Austin. I'm talking about Shakur. And he fought Padley instead. In fact, Shakur came out and said he suffered another hand injury, which he did show on video that his hand was swollen right after the fight, or I think it was either the same night of the fight or the next day. I mean, I personally saw it on YouTube. I personally saw how one of his hands, I think it was his right hand, was swollen a little bit. I have my reasons for why that keep happening to him, but I'm not an expert. I'm not an expert. I'll leave it up to the experts to talk about that. But in any event, the bottom line is that Shakur Stevenson, he definitely is going to need his hands to be 100% healthy. Not just fighting Zepeda, but of course Shakur has been talking about fighting Tank Davis. Now, whether that's true or not with his desire to fight Tank, it remains to be seen. I personally believe that Shakur should have been for Tank. I personally believe that Shakur should not have had to settle for a Padley and or a Schofield Jr., a.k.a. Kid Austin. Neither did Tank have to fight Lamont Roach. They could have fought each other. The timing was perfect in my personal and professional opinion. But that never happened. Now, speaking of Kid Austin, his dad is still doing a world tour. Like a Beyonce and Jay-Z. He's doing a world tour now. Again, I'm talking about Floyd Schofield Senior, the father. And he said a few interesting things on Mill City's boxing channel. Shout out to my man Lucky that sent me the clip last night. And I just wanted to play it because I wanted to make sure that I use this as a teachable moment to educate everybody on the business of boxing. And then finish grinding him up. Because I got a few choice words to say to Floyd Schofield Senior. Let me pull up the excerpt of that. Because it's a shame how these fathers, particularly the fathers that I talked about the other day, Floyd Schofield Senior, Brian Norman Sr., and Bill Haney, and we're going to get to Bill Haney in a few moments, they don't know the business of boxing. And they're on platform after platform, on every media outlet in boxing, talking and running their mouths. And if you listen to them long enough, and you only listen to Manager Marty for a short period of time, you'll realize they don't know the business of boxing. If you've been a member of this channel, if you've been an audience member of this channel, if you are a part of the Roll the Tape film crew as a supervisor, or if you are a part of the Roll the Tape family as a subscriber, and we got over 10,200 of those, you will realize, based on the things that I've taught you all so far in the last 2 years on YouTube, that all three of those fathers don't know the business of boxing. And it's actually sad because they're getting more press, they're getting more media coverage than their actual sons. And the sons are the actual professional boxers. And all three of them, in some shape, form, or capacity, try to take credit for being the quote unquote manager and or trainer of their sons. And they don't know how to do that very well. And it's unfortunate. Let me play back what was said by Floyd Schofield Senior, because he made a reference about business and Bill Haney made a reference about business recently. And I want to break down what they said and then teach both of them, along with all of the audience members here live and live in color and on the replay that is live, and other content creators that are watching now as well, the business of boxing. Here is Mill C asking a question to Floyd Schofield Jr. Of course, you know his dad was right there next to him, as always. The fighter, the professional boxer, the athlete, the son, unfortunately, can't even conduct interviews without his dad being right there. So sad. Let's hear what was said, and I'm going to air fry on this.
Oh, okay. Asking for 2.5 is a form of ducking.
See, that answer right there, that's his opinion.
Yeah.
That's his opinion. We didn't get no contact from them with no offer. And so we could ask whatever we want. It's our opinion. We could say, yo, we think this fight worth 2.5. The promoter gonna say, well, what they offered was this, and y'all go from there. So he didn't hear that part. I did answer that part. It's no form of ducking, asking what you want to get in the ring, and you're a contractor. Do McDonald's need your opinion to set the price on their burger? Nah, I don't see nobody saying McDonald's should be charging this much for a Big Mac. Why? It's their business. Do Dunkin' Donuts go to the consumer and say, how much should we charge for this donut? Nobody do that for their business, but since we can say, yo, well, we would want this, people, oh my God, he overpriced it. Overpriced is what? We didn't get an offer. We didn't get an offer. So if we say, yeah,
Those were the words of Floyd Schofield Sr. To the untrained listener, he sounds very reputable, sounds very knowledgeable, sounds very confident in his knowledge of business, number one, and or business of boxing, number two. And I'm here to disappoint all my haters right now. He sounds foolish. And it's so sad. It really is. Because there's three things that Floyd Schofield Sr. needs to do to enhance the career of his son. And it's the same three things that Brian Norman Sr. need to do. And it's the same three things that I've been saying that Bill Haney need to do publicly in the last 2 years. Number one, shh, be quiet. Number two, go in the background, get educated on the business of boxing. And then number 3, allow your son, Kid Austin, to get all of the attention, to make all of the public statements, to connect with the fan base, to talk more, to allow the average consumer to learn his image and or personality, to galvanize them to buy a ticket to see him fight, to build his stock. Very simple. But it's not simple for Floyd Schofield Senior. You know why? Because in my personal opinion, he's living vicariously through his son. And it's unfortunate. Let's break down the words that he actually said. Because I want to make sure we're on the same page here. Because every time I speak on these sensitive topics about fathers and their sons, and I break down the business of boxing, and what I break down is unfavorable towards Brian Norman Sr., Bill Haney, and of course Floyd Schofield Senior, I'm always being dubbed by some, not all, but some people as a hater. So let's go back and rewind the tape and see exactly what he said and exactly what he meant. And I want to say something real quick. Whoever it is in my comment and whoever it is in the chat, you said I'm hating and I'm cool with that. I can take the good with the bad, positive with the negative. I can dish it out and I can take it. With that being said, click the link though. Yeah, don't hide your face and be typing in my chat. Just click the link and come talk to me. Because I want to know how I'm hating. Click the link though. Come on up here and show your face and talk to me. That's all I'm saying. I don't ask for much. But I'm saying if I'm going to be called names and insulted in my chat, come on up and click the link. Show your face and come talk to me. Because I want to ask you a few questions. Oh, all right. That's what I thought. Let's go back and break down the words of Floyd Schofield Senior. Shall we? Mill City Boxing was reading a super chat, I believe, or a comment. That wasn't him saying it himself. He actually was reading it and he was actually reading it and then telling the Schofields what the comment was on his channel. Let's go back and make sure we can analyze this properly.
Oh, okay. Asking for 2.5 is a form of ducking.
See, that answer right there, that's his opinion. Yeah. That's his opinion. We didn't get no contact from them with no offer.
Did y'all hear that? I'm going to rewind it because I don't think everybody heard that. Hold on. Make sure there ain't nothing choppy now.
See, that answer right there, that's his opinion. Yeah. That's his opinion. We didn't get no contact from them with no offer. And so we could ask whatever we want. It's our opinion. We could say, yo, we think this fight worth 2.5. The promoter gonna say, well, what they offered was this, and y'all go from there. So he didn't hear that part. I did.
See that? I'm going to stop it right there. He said we didn't get no offer. We are the ones that's basically coming out saying this is what we want. We're entitled to say we think this fight is worth this. We think we should get paid this. Right? Mm-hmm. Well, that's the problem right there. I told y'all before, and I'm going to tell y'all again. When it comes to the business of boxing, boxers, if you're listening, hear me clearly. Your worth is not based on what you think and how you feel. I told you all the 3 things that it's based on, but it's definitely not based on what someone thinks. It's definitely not based on what someone feels, especially when you're not bringing anything of value to the negotiations that will increase or benefit the bottom line of the entity and or the promoter. How can Floyd Schofield Senior open up his mouth and even mention 2.5 million when we haven't even seen or have any evidence of Floyd Schofield Jr. selling 2,000 tickets? And of course, 2,000 tickets does not equate to not even $1 million in live gate, by the way. Even if you add a $1,000 price tag to it, right? Okay. So what I'm getting at is Floyd Schofield Jr. is not a big ticket item. When has he headlined a pay-per-view? Never. When the last time he headlined in his own hometown and sold it out? Never. When has he fought someone that had name recognition to help be the extra dance partner to make a successful promotion in his fight as a main eventer? Never. So if you haven't even done those three things, how can a promoter or an entity, such as a network, justify giving you and your son $2.5 million that has absolutely nothing to do with the other purse that they would have to pay the opponent, on top of providing you with $2.5 million? Makes absolutely no sense. No Cap is claiming that he's in the background. He's backstage. No Cap. If that's really you, show me your face. I will gladly invite you onto the show. I ain't never ducked no smoke, no conversation or dialogue from anybody. And no Cap, if you watch my channel long enough, you even know that. But turn your camera on though. I'll pause the show right now and get right to you, and me and you can talk. I have nothing to hide, brother or sister, because I don't know if you're a male or female. Yeah, come on the show. You saying you backstage. Oh, you ain't got a camera? Okay, well, since you ain't got a camera, I don't have a microphone. Yeah, I ain't letting nobody come up here and talk to me and don't want to show their face. Where they do that? Oh, I know a couple of places they do that at. Not here. Just to let the record be clear, the person, no Cap, in my chat just said, I ain't got a camera. Let me put it on the screen so people won't believe I'm ducking, which you already know I'm not. I ain't got a camera. It's 2025, champ. Male or female, man or lady, ma'am or sir. It's 2025. I don't even know the last time I've seen a phone being sold without a camera on it. Even flip phones have cameras on it. But it is what it is. You don't have a camera, then I don't have a microphone to talk. But I understand. When you get a camera, though, I'll be back here live again. And of course, you're more than welcome to come back and we can talk. All right, now that we got that out the way, let's get back onto the show. The bottom line is, with Floyd Schofield Senior, you got to understand, it's not about what you think. You think your son is going to fight Abdullah Mason for $2.5 million on whose watch? What promoter is putting up that kind of money? In fact, Abdullah Mason is not even competing for not even $1 million in his purse. So how can a promoter justify that? Now, let me give y'all the business of boxing, because you ain't going to find this nowhere else. Turkey Al Sheik ain't paying them no $1 million. I guarantee y'all that. Let me be clear on something. I want to make sure we all on the same page real quick. I'm not going to hold y'all for too long. Isn't Floyd Schofield Jr., Kid Austin, isn't he signed to a promoter? Let me reframe the question. Kid Austin receives a guaranteed purse from Golden Boy Promotions, correct? I'm just asking. I just want to make sure we on the same page. He receives a guaranteed purse. He's signed to Golden Boy Promotions, isn't he? I'm talking about Floyd Schofield Jr., Kid Austin. Golden Boy, right, Jay Miller? Thanks, Jay Miller. Appreciate that. You know, by the way, we've been on the show for an hour, and the air fryer haven't even got plugged in yet. Y'all know that, right? Air fryer ain't been plugged in. Air fryer haven't even been plugged in, y'all. Can we get the likes up at least? We haven't received any contributions, but can we can we at least get the likes up? Can I get a like or two? I don't ask for much. He signed to Golden Boy Promotions, right? I'm talking about Floyd Schofield Jr. He signed to Golden Boy, right? Last time I checked, he was signed to Golden Boy. In fact, not only that, but Floyd Schofield Jr.'s name was mentioned in the interview, that same interview that I just played about De La Hoya, talking about Williams, Zepeda, and Shakur. He actually spoke on that, and I'm going to actually play it right now, if y'all don't mind, which I'm sure y'all don't. Let me go ahead and play that real quick. That same interview. All right, I pulled it up. It's the interview right here. Oscar De La Hoya was asked about that. The $2.5 million that y'all just heard Floyd Senior talk about. Man, I appreciate my guy. Double salute to my guy, Jay Miller. Thank you for your contribution and your support to the channel. Jay Miller says in the super chat, let me throw the first punch then. Thank you for the first punch being thrown by my man Jay Miller. Appreciate it, big dog. Always a pleasure, man. Here's Oscar De La Hoya real quick, man, asked about this $2.5 million situation that Floyd Senior was referring to.
Oscar, I got to ask a little bit. Can you elaborate a little bit more on the supposed $2.5 million deal that Kid Austin's Floyd Schofield's dad received? Just it seems like you haven't heard anything about it. Just overall, like, was that good enough for you to make subscribe with Abdullah Mason?
It's the first time I hear about it. I've never been approached, so my team has never received any type of offer. So maybe Schofield's father did. I don't know. I don't know, but it hasn't officially gone to my desk. But look, I have plans for Floyd. Floyd is a terrific fighter. You know, it was obviously unfortunate what happened overseas, but we're moving forward with it, and I want his career to shine bright, and go as far as he can go. So I have a meeting with him at my home in Vegas on Monday, and we're gonna sit down with him and structure a deal where, you know, we can build him to be a world champion.
Build him to be a world champion. Build him to be a world champion. Build him to be a world champion. Sounds like a prospect to me. Kid Austin is a prospect, isn't he? Kid Austin is a contender, isn't he? So then $2.5 million getting paid to you from where again? As a prospect, as a contender? Where they do that at? Oh, okay. I see what's going on. Did y'all hear that? Oscar De La Hoya said he did not receive any notifications. Nothing came across his desk or his team, meaning the other employees and other individuals who run and help facilitate and operate Golden Boy Promotions. None of them haven't even heard anything about an offer being sent to Floyd Schofield Jr. on behalf of his father. You see what I'm talking about, you guys and ladies? He said all that for what? Floyd Schofield said all that for what? I'm just trying to figure out. If someone offered the Schofields anything, they would have to go through they would have to go through Kid Austin representation. They can't make no fight and sign a contract with Floyd Schofield Jr. without Golden Boy Promotions authorization. Isn't that what just happened to Ryan Garcia when he tried to fight out of the country with an exhibition? Oh, okay. And because you know why? That's in the language of the actual contract. And it's standard all across the board in boxing, by the way. How the promoter don't even know anything about this offer. But yet Floyd Senior is running around platform after platform, on content creator channel after content creator channel, on YouTube platform after YouTube platform, in interviews after interview saying this. Once again, no one G-checks him. No one holds him accountable. Notice how all three of these fathers keep running to the same platforms over and over again, being recycled. You know why? Because those content creators don't hold them accountable. That's just the truth. Y'all can call me a hater all you want, because I know that's the next insult that's going to come. But the bottom line is a fact. That's the only reason why Floyd Schofield, Brian Norman Sr., and Bill Haney keep feeling comfortable to go on the same platforms that recycle their content over and over again. But they won't come and see me. Know why? Because they know I know the business of boxing. All three of them. Bill Haney, Brian Norman Sr., and Floyd Schofield Senior. They know who I am, and they won't come up here and click the link. They have a premonition of the outcome. See, they can say all the stuff that they say about the business of boxing to people that don't know any better. But they know they can't talk that talk with me. And they know I'm going to hold them accountable. When they use the certain tactics to manipulate people, they already know that ain't going to fly with me. I mean, think about it like this. If I can put Victor Conti in a pretzel and use his words against him with that pretzel, can't nobody stand a chance with me. Not over there. And we know how good Victor Conti is with the finesse game, don't we? With the tactics that's being used to manipulate the audience that don't know any better, don't we? Oh, okay. That's all I'm saying. Double salute to my guy, Day One supporter, Many Face Publishing. Thank you for the contribution and the support to the channel. Many Face Publishing says, barbecue started early. Heat up the grill. You got it. Thank you, Many Face. I'm about to heat up the grill. The air fryer is warming up. My guy's here too. Double salute to Chef Curry Changed. That's my man, Chef Curry, always come in shooting threes when he come on the channel. Chef Curry, my guy. Double salute to Chef Curry. Thank you for your support and contribution to the channel. Chef Curry says in the super chat, salute Manager Marty and the chat. Blessings to all. I'm definitely willing to help heat up the air fryer for sure. 100. Appreciate you. Appreciate you. Appreciate you. Who else we got? Oh, my man Rick here. My man Rick. Double salute to my guy. My man Rick, thank you for the contribution and support to the channel. Rick says this in the super chat. I'm not going to be able to stay live. I got some errands to run. I will be back and watch the replay. Manager Marty keeps it all the way 100. Say my name. That's the hashtag that I came up with. Hashtag say my name. Thank you again, Rick, for your support and contribution to the channel. Appreciate you, man. And my guy, spinning the block always, my man Jay Miller. Thank you again with the super chat. Jay Miller says, yep, they know Manager Marty got that pull counter ready. You better believe it, Jay. Hey, Jay, that's why they won't come over here. Always have a pull counter ready. I always had that pull counter ready. Cause you know why? I already know how they coming. I already know what punches they gonna try to throw. Them three fathers I just mentioned. I already know. Hey Creo, I like how I like how pre I like how Creo put that in the chat. The thing I just said. They have a premonition of the outcome. Y'all heard what De La Hoya said. An offer never even came across his desk. He don't know what Floyd Senior is talking about. But once again, Floyd Senior is bamboozling y'all, the audience members, bamboozling the host, Mill City, bamboozling everybody. They sent you an offer. How they send you an offer? They didn't even reach out to your representation, the promoter. Come on, Floyd Senior. You know you or your son can't agree to no terms without the authorization and the commitment level of your promoter. Even you know that, Floyd Senior. How you saying one thing and the promoter saying something different? Come on, man. Stop playing. 2.5 million. All right, I feel you. Let's get back to what he actually said, though. We not done. He got about it's more 30 more seconds in this clip that my man Lucky sent me. Let's see what we got here. Roll the tape.
Yeah, that's his opinion. That's his opinion. We didn't get no contact from them with no offer. And so we could ask whatever we want. It's our opinion. We could say, yo, we think this fight worth 2.5. The promoter gonna say, well, what they offered was this, and y'all go from there. So he didn't hear that part. I did answer that part. There's no form of ducking asking what you want to get in the ring, and you're a contractor. Do McDonald's need your opinion to set the price on their burgers? Nah, I don't see nobody saying McDonald's should be charging this much for a Big Mac. Why? It's their business. Do Dunkin' Donuts go to the consumer and say, how much should we charge for this donut? Nobody do that for their business, but since we can say, yo, well, we would want this, people, oh my God, you overpriced it. Overpriced it what? We didn't get an offer.
I've heard enough. I've heard. Here's the thing about that. Do McDonald's? I'm gonna listen to that last part again. Do Dunkin' Donuts? I'm gonna listen to that last part again. He used a reference about McDonald's and Dunkin' Donuts. I gotta play that last part again.
Asking what you want to get in the ring, and you're a contractor. Do McDonald's need your opinion to set the price on their burgers? Nah, I don't see nobody saying McDonald's should be charging this much for a Big Mac. Why? It's their business. Do Dunkin' Donuts go to the consumer and say, how much should we charge for this donut? Nobody do that for their business, but since we can say, yo, well, we would want this, people, oh my God, you overpriced it. Overpriced it what? We didn't get an offer.
Did y'all hear that? Once again, don't know the business of boxing. Sound very foolish, and it's sad because his son is going to suffer the consequences, and that's why his son's career is going to go downhill. And we saw this play out when they went to Saudi Arabia and fumbled the bag and didn't get paid not one red cent. Oh, they got a free hotel stay for a couple of days. Oh, they definitely got a free round trip ticket, airfare, but they came back home with no money in their pocket. They did get a little per diem that they should have used for food. But of course, some of the food was free over there first 2 days, but that's none of my business. My point is, they came back without a bag when it was time for them to fight Shakur Stevenson. Just nearly 2 months ago. But yet they're asking for 2.5 million? From who? From who? Who you asking that for? Because your promoter not even involved. So what you talking about? Y'all came back broke. What are we talking about? I'm just trying to figure out. McDonald's don't ask the customers how much their burger should be. Dunkin' Donuts don't ask the consumer how much their product should be. There's a couple of differences with that analogy when we're talking about comparing it to a contractor in a major establishment like McDonald's and a major establishment like Dunkin' Donuts. There's several differences. Number one, McDonald's and Dunkin' Donuts is a major corporation with a large overhead, including employee payroll, taxes, expenses, merchandise costs, healthcare expenses, advertising costs, supplies, waste costs, landscaping, property expenses, maintenance, manufacturing production costs, etc., 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 and the list goes on and on. They have a reputation that have been embedded in the psyche of individuals on a global scale for decades. And you mean to tell me that Kid Austin can walk inside of a local Walmart and nobody knows exactly who he is? He can walk in Verizon's cell phone store right now. Nobody ain't gonna know who that young man is. But if you go to UK, you can go to another country right now. You from America, go to the UK. I bet you see a McDonald's logo there. Hey, if you live in the city, if you live in a state, any city or any state here in America, I bet you can go in any city, any state, any airport, you're going to see McDonald's and or Dunkin' Donuts. Recognizable trademarks. And you mean to tell me that that's the comparison that Floyd Senior is using between his son being a contractor and two global major corporations with decades of history of good product? Go to China. You're going to see, go to China. You're going to see Dunkin' Donuts and McDonald's over there. You can go to another country right now and you can see McDonald's and or Dunkin' Donuts in that country. But Floyd Jr. can't even go nowhere locally and be and be recognized. Huh? And there's another difference. McDonald's and Dunkin' Donuts is a draw. What do I mean by that? There's three things on a list for criteria to making a man a superstar in the sport of boxing. You ain't hear this nowhere else. Watch this. You got to bring the stars out. You got to bring the cars out. And you got to bring the bras out. And guess what? McDonald's and Dunkin' Donuts, they bring the stars out. They bring the cars out. And they bring the bras out. And guess what? Floyd Schofield Jr. don't. He don't bring no stars out to his fights. He don't bring no cars out, luxury vehicles out to his fights. And he definitely don't bring the ladies out. When I say bras, I mean BRAS, the ladies. Only bra I'm going to leave that alone. I'm not even going to go there. All I'm saying is his father needs to stop acting like a female. Floyd Schofield Senior does not understand the business of boxing. He knows that talking about some $2.5 million to fight Abdullah Mason, just that alone is a duck. Because he knows that Abdullah Mason is not even averaging that type of money. And he knows for a fact his son is not even averaging more than 25% of that type of money. Now, somebody's going to say, how you know that? I'm going to break the business down real quick, and we're going to move on to Bill Haney before I let y'all go. In the business of boxing, I'm going to teach you something. Some of you already heard me say this 2 years ago and last year. I'm going to say it again for my new audience members. In standard boxing contracts, when a professional boxer is signed to a guaranteed purse, in other words, is the fighter will be compensated a specific amount per fight, typically between 2 to 3 fights per year, that the promoter obligates him or herself to making sure and ensuring that this professional boxer will receive compensation per year that they're locked into this contractual agreement. When I say guaranteed purse, I'm referring to minimum and maximum. You ain't gonna find this nowhere else. Your favorite content creator don't know it, and if they do, you know where they learned it from. Right over here. So I'm glad that you're here. There's a minimum and there's a maximum guarantee. In other words, is the promoter is guaranteeing that no matter what, the minimum that you will get paid is this amount. And the maximum that you will get paid throughout the duration of the contract is this amount. And I can assure all of you on this live right now, I can assure all of you in the replay of this live right now that Kid Austin is not breaking over $250,000 in his maximum. Guaranteed. Y'all just heard what Oscar De La Hoya said when I played the tape back. That's going to tell you everything you need to know right there if you know the business of boxing. Now, of course, there's an extension after world titles become won. There's an increase based on how many rounds that these professional boxers compete in. There's also an increase, watch this, when the fights that these professional boxers compete in are televised. But there's always a minimum and a maximum after a certain point. See that? So how can Floyd Senior talk about $2.5 million when that's not more than 25%, well, excuse me, where his son is not even getting 25% of what he's asking for in his maximum guaranteed contract? That's how you know right there that he's outpricing himself and his son on purpose. Just like he overdealt his hand when they went over to Saudi Arabia, when they realized how real it was. When the fire got hot, they played the I'm sick game so they can get out of the fight and not be penalized. Why did I say that? Because Floyd Schofield Senior understood that once his son touched that scale the day before the fight, and this goes for every professional boxer, standard across the business. I'm teaching y'all something. Pay attention to me now, please. When a fighter step on that scale and make weight, hear me and hear me good, that promoter is obligated to pay them. Did y'all hear me? I'm not going to say that last part again because I want y'all to process that. So Floyd Schofield Senior understood if his son stepped on that scale and made weight, the fight is official and they can't back out of it. And they didn't even participate in the weigh-in. I believe they couldn't make weight and they got scared. It's either one of those two or both. That's what I believe in my heart. Floyd Schofield talked his way into his son fighting Shakur. All that mouth he was doing. And when he saw that Shakur was on that snack, woo, huh? he saw Shakur walking around in Saudi Arabia with that snack hat on. Shakur Stevenson was promoting snack with the paraphernalia and the apparel he was wearing. And Shakur Stevenson was in shape too. And I believe that when Floyd Schofield Senior and Junior both got diagnosed with cold feet, because they ain't want no work with Shakur. All that mouth Schofield Senior had. Months and months leading up to the fight finally being negotiated. He did all that for nothing. Only to come back home to America broke with no money in their pocket. Because the kid never even touched the scale to make weight. Nor did he compete in the actual ring. And now he's on a platform talking about some $2.5 million. Good God from Zion. And then compared being an independent contractor as a contender and a prospect to McDonald's and Dunkin' Donuts. If no one else is going to hold him accountable, I will. And guess what? In his next 2 fights, y'all going to see what I'm talking about. And when their career is over, I'm going to come right back here publicly and tell y'all, I told y'all. And now let's get to Bill Haney. I'm going to play the same piece of audio I played in the beginning of this broadcast. And I'm going to give my verdict and render my expertise on it from the business of boxing's perspective. And I promise you, I'm going to let you all go. Bill Haney don't know the business of boxing either. And neither does Brian Norman Sr. And I keep saying it over and over again. And it's sad. It's sad. I'm not here to criticize, but we got to keep it all the way 100. Because they do the most talking, but they know the least about the business. That's the point that I'm driving home with this. This was an interview published a few days ago by Cigar Talk, who was interviewing Bill Haney. And let's hear what Bill Haney had to say about the law. You know what? I'm doing way too much talking. Don't take my word for it. Roll the tape.
I'm here for them on Cigar Talk.
On Cigar Talk. All right, listen, Bill, we got to get to the lawsuit. The lawsuit, Bill. We got
on Cigar Talk.
on Cigar Talk. All right, listen, Bill, we got to get to it. The lawsuit, Bill. The lawsuit, Bill. We got to. Why did y'all do the lawsuit, Bill? That was because for me, I was like, damn, why?
Because listen, and you got to, that's the elephant in the room, because there's only, and especially when you're a black man, if the only thing that you've ever been done is sued, is got sued, you know, because you probably never sued anyone for anything. No, so you won't understand this shit. It's big business. It's part of business.
Don't do that. Don't do that.
No, let me tell you.
Don't do that.
Well, listen, let me graduate. Let me graduate you and educate you.
Let me hear it.
You did. Yeah. Not only did we work with all of the promoters, we understand the business and what business represents. And where we come is the bullshit. That's what they want you to do.
But you know where we come from.
Yeah. And guess what? That's where Dirk, that's where Thug just got off on, that's where Yellow Beezy, that's where historically they go, don't they?
Yeah, that's a fact.
What did B.A.G. do? Did he beat him?
That's a fact.
Did he beat him?
I gotta give you that. I give you respect for that.
Okay, all right.
I give you respect for
all
that.
right.
I agree with that.
Right.
But I'm saying is, I think the difference is the onus on Devin.
No, it's not.
Devin,
It's not.
feels
It's
different
not.
because he's a boxer.
No,
That's why I make it feel crazy.
He's a boxer, and he has a company and the responsibility is on the company, I put on the suit and tie and pulled up in there because I'm most qualified to come in here and file this lawsuit on this guy for everything that he did. It wasn't Devin. It's his company. It's his company that wasn't, but no different than Golden Boy, no different than Top Rank, no different than any other company.
Yeah.
That was Bill Haney taking credit, putting on the suit and the tie. He's taking credit for actually suing Ryan Garcia, talking about the business. Now, he came down my lane when he started talking about business. He used the term business. So now I can use this as a teachable moment. Let's dissect what Bill Haney said. I'm going to go back to the very beginning. I'm going to dissect his words, break it down like an old rifle. And let's hear what Bill Haney had to say again. Roll the tape.
Why did y'all do the lawsuit, Bill? That was because after me, I was like, damn, why?
Because listen, and you got that's the elephant in the room because there's only, and especially when you're a black man, if the only thing that you've ever been done is sued, is got sued, you know, because you probably never sued anyone for anything. No, so you won't understand this shit. It's big business.
Let me stop right there. Is he using the race card again? I keep telling y'all this is not good. Especially as a black man. What does being black have to do with this? What does the interviewer not being able to say whether or not he was experienced in filing a lawsuit or not have to do with this? It's big business. That's what Bill Haney said. Bill Haney said, especially as a black man, use the term big business. That's a shame.
It's part of business.
Don't do that. Don't do that.
No, let me tell you.
Don't do that.
Well, listen, let me graduate. Let me graduate you and educate you.
Let me hear this. Yeah.
Not only did we work with all of the promoters, we understand that business and what business represents.
Not only did we work with all of the promoters, but we understand what business represents. That's interesting that Bill Haney said that. I have a question on that, since he just said that they work with all the promoters and they understand what big business represents. The Haneys I'm talking about. So then how come when it was time to do a purse bid for the Sandor Martin fight, none of the promoters that you've done business with on behalf of DHP wanted to put up any money? See, it's called put your money where your mouth is. When you believe in someone as an athlete, when you're a promoter, you put your money up. As a professional boxing manager like myself, we put the money up. How come none of the promoters put the money up? How come none of the promoters put their money where their mouth is, since the Haneys did business with all of the promoters? In fact, what did happen, though, with all of the promoters, Bill Haney and Devin walked to every promoter that they've done business with their hand out. You don't know what I'm talking about? Let's go down memory lane for a second. The first time they was with Eddie Hearn, had their hand out, signed a contract for what? Guaranteed purse. I just told y'all what guaranteed purses mean. Standard in boxing, language in the contract just a few minutes ago, did I not? Minimum and maximum. Guaranteed purse, right? Okay, no problem. They was with Lou DiBella too, but I'm gonna leave that alone. Okay, but let's stay with right here. Eddie Hearn. Then, when that deal was concluded, they went to who? Bob Arum. Went over there with their hand out. Signed a 3-fight deal with the opponents that Top Rank told them they're going to fight. Did their agenda succeed for them being undisputed? Yes. But the ultimate agenda was what? Guaranteed contract. so that they can get a purse because they know Devin Haney is not a big ticket seller. Let's keep it 100. Okay. Devin Haney fought the two opponents that Bob Arum wanted him to fight. Because they went over there with their handout, guaranteed purse. And then when that 3-fight deal concluded, what did they do? They went over to Eddie Hearn, locked into another contract, multi-fight, by the way, multi-fight deal with Eddie Hearn with their handout. Now, you know what somebody's going to say? Manager Marty, you hating. You don't have no proof. Okay, here's the proof. Devin Haney fought who? With Eddie Hearn, their second go round? Regis Prograis, right? Guaranteed purse. I had a question on that. How come Eddie Hearn was at the press conference when Devin Haney fought Ryan Garcia? See, I asked this before, and I'm still waiting for an answer. And if any of you know Bill Haney as a content creator, because some content creators be watching me, but they don't be in the live chat because they don't want y'all to know they watching me. Ask Bill Haney, how come Eddie Hearn was sitting at a seat? He was sitting in a seat at the table and talking on a microphone at the press conferences when Ryan Garcia fought Devin Haney. What was he there for? And then another question for Bill Haney. How come y'all took less money to fight Ryan Garcia when y'all was a champion? In the percentage split, y'all took less. And then the next question becomes, why y'all run over to Turkey Al-Sheikh with your hand out and got to fight an opponent that the matchmaker's telling y'all to fight with your hand out for a guaranteed purse again as a prerequisite to fight Ryan Garcia, but only this time y'all on an undercard. Once again, with your hand out. Begging for a guaranteed purse. Lord have mercy. I thought the reason why you filed the lawsuit was because y'all was our own boss and you representing the company of DHP. So then how come in the last 3 to 4 years y'all been running the promoter after promoter with your hand out? Okay, I digress.
And where we come from is the bullshit. That's what they want you to do.
Stop. Where we come from is the BS. That's what they want you to do. Who is they, Bill Haney? I hope you ain't saying the white man. I hope you're not saying law enforcement. And I hope you're not saying the government. Who is they? Then why Bill won't click that link, because he know I'm going to challenge him on these things. Who is they? Who is they that want y'all to be on the BS? Because the last time I checked, when Devin Haney sucker punched that carnival worker, there was no white man standing around, there was no government standing around, and there was no one else standing around that opposes black people that enticed and influenced your son Devin Haney from physically assaulting and committing battery on a civilian who was at that carnival. So who is they that want y'all to be on the BS or want us as black people to be on the BS? Because I know that's what he was getting at. I have another question on that. If you was talking about it was business to file a lawsuit against Ryan Garcia because of DHP, which you represent, then how come you didn't file a lawsuit on Bernard Hopkins when Bernard Hopkins pushed you? Let me rewind the tape and say that again. When Bernard Hopkins pushed Bill Haney in his hometown, in his backyard in Vegas, how come Bill Haney didn't file a lawsuit against Bernard Hopkins? But he filed a lawsuit against Ryan Garcia for a fight that was professionally sanctioned in the ring. But when Bernard Hopkins pushed him outside of the ring, when they were outside of the ring, there was no consequences for that. But he claims that they want us to be on the BS. Okay, that don't appeal to you? I'm gonna take it the next step further. Who is they want us to be on the BS? But Bill Haney? When you keep telling everybody you 50-0 in the streets. I got the tape queued up if y'all don't believe. Remember when Bill Haney told Mayweather he's 50-0 in the y'all remember that? When Bill Haney was going back and forth with Floyd Mayweather, was they around? The they you were referring to in this interview, the they that want us to be on BS, was the they around when you was on BS talking about how much you still in the streets? Which one is it, Bill? Are you a gangster or are you a gentleman? You can't have it both ways. You can't say you in the streets 50-0, you certified, you stamp, you a HFI street ninja, and you built like that and you tough like that, you a gangster and you G'd up, but then it's business when you file a lawsuit. So let me get this right. So the they, which is the government, law enforcement, and or the white man, the they that want us to be on BS, then why are you running to the same they to file a lawsuit against somebody then? Which one is it? Oh, so the same they that want the blacks to be on the BS and crash out, they're the same they that you went to use their system to file a lawsuit. Oh, all right. All right. I feel you, Bill Haney.
That's where we come from.
Yeah. And guess what? That's where Dirk, that's where Thug just got off on. That's where Yellow Beezy, that's where historically they go, don't they?
Yes.
Stop. He's saying if blacks do what they want us to do, which is to be on the BS, they wind up ending up where Dirk, Young Thug, and Yellow Beezy. He's talking about prison, right? So now he's a black activist again. See, this is what I keep trying to tell y'all. So now he want to be a black activist. Basically, what he's saying is, in layman's terms, if you're not from the street or the hood, or if you're from another country, I'm gonna break it down and translate it for you. The white man wants us to be on BS because it leads us as blacks. When we on the BS, it leads us to their prison system. They want us to be on that. And the example of that is what happened with Dirk, what happened to Young Thug, what happened to Yellow Beezy, 3 black men, 3 black entertainers, 3 black rappers. They ended up in prison because that's what they wanted from the beginning, the white man. But you ran to the white man, to use their criminal system, their civil system to file a lawsuit. Which one is it, gangster? That's all I'm asking. I'm not mad at nobody. These are questions that I want to ask Bill Haney because he won't come up here to talk to me. But he went on Fight Hub and said I was the fake manager. So now the fake manager want to ask you these questions. You can't have it both ways, Bill. You can't be a gangster and an activist. You can't be a gangster and a civilian. Which one is it? Okay, there's more.
What did BH do? Did he beat him?
That's a fact.
Did he beat him?
I gotta give you that. I give you respect for that.
What did BH do? Talking about Bill Haney. He was talking about himself in third person. Did he beat him? What did you beat, Bill? What did you beat? Hold on. What did you beat, Bill? What did you beat? You beat the system? How you beat the system? You filed a lawsuit. No one put their hands on you physically except for Bernard Hopkins, and you didn't file a lawsuit against him. But yet you filed a lawsuit against a guy who put his hands and feet on your son, who's a grown man, under the guise and disguise of it being business. Come on, Bill Haney, that don't make no sense. That makes absolutely no sense. So he can file a lawsuit on behalf of his son, who's a grown man, who was fighting in a professional sanctioned bout inside of a boxing ring, but yet he didn't file a lawsuit against Bernard Hopkins, who actually assaulted him and pushed him and committed battery against him outside the ring. I need y'all to help me make this make sense. That's all I'm saying, y'all. Let me play a little more, and I promise y'all I'm gonna let y'all go.
Okay, all right.
I give respect for
All
that.
right.
I agree with that.
All right.
But I'm saying is, I think the difference is the onus on Devin.
No, it's
Team
not.
Devin,
It's
it
not.
feels
It's
different
not
because he's a boxer. That's why I make it feel crazy.
He's a boxer, and he has a company, and the responsibility is on the company. I put on the suit and tie and pulled up in there because I'm most qualified to come in here and file this lawsuit on this guy for everything that he did.
He said, yes, he's a boxer, talking about his son. He talking about his son is the boxer, right? But his son also have a company, and he's the one that's most qualified to put on the suit, the tie, to file the lawsuit on behalf of his son. Lucky McKinnell's missed it, so I have to say this last piece again. You mean to tell me, Lucky, stay with me, Lucky. You mean to tell me Bill Haney is filing a lawsuit against Ryan Garcia on behalf of his 27-year-old grown man's son who's a professional boxer for battery, but he didn't file a lawsuit on his own behalf when Bernard Hopkins pushed him outside of the ring? When Bernard shoved Bill Haney in his backyard in his hometown of Vegas, where he rests his head at, he didn't even file a lawsuit against Bernard. But you want me to believe this is a business move for filing a lawsuit against a professional? Where was the lawsuit at when Devin Haney sucker punched that carnival worker? Wasn't that assault and battery? And the guy that Devin Haney assaulted and the guy who got jumped, that same guy, he's a civilian. Come on, Bill, stop. Come on, Bill Haney. You said you was 50-0 in the streets. That's what, that's what I heard Bill say. Bill Haney said he's 50-0 in the streets. So if you undefeated in the streets, what you run to the law for? That's all. I'm just saying. I'm just trying to figure out. I'm not advocating for any violence. What I'm trying to get at is you can't have it both ways. You can't be a civilian and a gangster. Bill Haney just said, and y'all just heard him, I just played it before Lucky McKinnell's got here. I said it just now. He said, it's business. Why I filed the lawsuit. It's business. I'm the only one. I'm the most qualified to do it on behalf of DHP. That's interesting to me. He said they want us to be on the BS. Talking about the white man, y'all. Yeah, I'm a translator. He want to be an activist in the same interview as saying that he's a gangster. He want to be an activist, a civilian, and a gangster all at the same time. We get you, Bill. So wait, let me get this straight. He said they want us to be on BS. And that's what lands us in jail, basically. And he called out 3 names. He said Lil Durk, he said Young Thug, and he said Yella Beezy. All 3 of these men, right, were inmates in prison, or still are, except for Young Thug, right? He basically saying they, talking about the white man, talking about the system, talking about the government. They want us to be on BS, but I beat them at their own game by filing a lawsuit. Bill Haney, you make absolutely no sense. First of all, you claim that you 50-0 in the streets, and he told Floyd Mayweather, I'm still in the streets. Y'all remember that? So you a gangster that's still in the street 50-0. But you saying they want us to be on BS, right? Okay, so if they, talking about the system, want us to be on BS, and they want us to be on BS because their agenda is to imprison all black people, right? Why would you use their same legal system to file a lawsuit then, gangster? That's all I'm asking. Don't get mad at, I don't care if you get mad or not, but please don't get mad at me. These are questions that every person that interviewed Bill Haney can ask him. But you know why they won't ask him? Because of content. Because Bill Haney frequent the same circles, the same content creators over and over and over again. Know why? Because he know they ain't going to challenge him. So does Floyd Schofield Senior, and so does the other father, Brian Norman Senior. They're not going to place them on the hot seat. And that's not a knock on them. I get it. It's broadcast journalism on YouTube at its best. Get the content. I get it. But me, I ain't in it for the fame. And none of them can pay me off. But I want Bill Haney. Don't come up here and not click the link, Bill. See, because Bill Haney was up here in my chat. And I got, and guess what? I got 150 witnesses that was here that day that could prove it. And thousands more after the live went off that saw it. But he didn't click the link because Bill Haney knows in his heart that I'm not a fake manager, and he knows in his heart that I'm not a manager at Walmart and Target. Well, I do have a name tag. I do have a name tag that I got created for me that says I'm the manager at Walmart and Target and a manager of shopping carts. I don't even know if that's a real position, is it? But anyway, the bottom line is Bill Haney knows when he come up here, he has to come correct and sit down in that hot seat because I got some questions. All I'm saying is, you 50-0 in the street, gangster. Why didn't you file that lawsuit against Bill Haney when you 50-0 in the streets? You a gangster. Why didn't you file a lawsuit against Bernard Hopkins? See, they have the same initials, BH, Bill Haney and Bernard Hopkins. That's why I got tongue-tied. But y'all understood where I was getting at with that. You're a president of a company. Let somebody go ahead and shove the president of McDonald's, the CEO of Dunkin' Donuts, the executive of NBC, the president of operations at CBS. Let somebody push them and watch a lawsuit come down the pike if you're famous. Oh, I know why you really filed that lawsuit, Bill Haney. Had nothing to do with business. Because Bernard didn't want you to go to the law. He wanted you to go to that bathroom so y'all can have a conversation like men. But you didn't want to go in there, Bill, 50-0 gangster. Oh, I see what happened. Y'all filed a lawsuit because you know in your heart right now your son cannot beat Ryan Garcia. And the chances of him beating him are extremely slim based on the beating that the young man took, which you let it go too far. You should have threw the towel in, trainer, and you didn't. You sat there and watched your son get pummeled for 12 rounds. And you knew the chances of your son recovering 100% was slim. So the lawsuit came down the pike with the, hey, we can get a guaranteed bag to secure us for the next year. Because that's what happened. Because I keep asking people over and over, why didn't Devin Haney fight for the year? Now, of course, we heard Devin Haney lie and say he wanted to take a vacation with his family for a year. We heard Bill Haney say that too. But I'm the only content creator that came out publicly and proved to you all that Devin Haney was suspended indefinitely by the commission in New York for 8 months. And that's why he hasn't been in training and fighting. So let's keep it all the way real and be honest. And all I'm trying to say is this. You can't have it both ways. You can't be a gangster and a civilian and an activist all at the same time, Bill Haney, under the disguise of business and suit and tie. Cut it out. Come on now, Bill Haney. Stop it, bro. And you told Vlad TV, Bill Haney, that you got shot multiple times. Because I heard that interview. And if you get shot in the streets, you ain't 50-0. That's all I'm saying. That's all I'm saying. All I'm saying is I'm not against anyone filing a lawsuit. But he said he's the one most qualified to do it. No, you're not. Your son, Devin Haney, is the one who's most qualified to file a lawsuit if he was assaulted, not you. Well, I did it on the behalf of the company. Okay, well, you're an executive of the same company. Why didn't you file a lawsuit against Bernard Hopkins when he pushed you? And please don't say you gangster because you didn't go in that bathroom. So what's the other reason why? Because that happened in Vegas, in his hometown, right? Where he lay his head at, right? Oh, okay. So you can't be a gangster, a civilian, and an activist all at the same time. That's fake. And the bottom line is this. He's promoting violence. He's promoting the gangster image. But he's saying they want us to, talking about the white man in the system, they want us to be on the BS. But Bill Haney, you be on the BS. So which one is it? That's all I'm saying. You can't say the white man in the system want us as blacks to be on the BS so that we can end up in prison, but yet promote the gangster image at the same time. Can't nobody refute what I just said. I don't care what y'all saying in my live chat. The bottom line is, it's the facts at hand. And people keep letting these three fathers get away with the things that are destroying the credibility of their sons, the fighters. That's who I advocate for, the professional boxers. Care about these fathers wanting to live through, vicariously live through their sons and get all the fame because they ain't getting nothing, because they ain't did nothing. I advocate for the boxers, whether the boxers like me or not. My heart's for the boxers. That's why I go hard on these three fathers. Y'all can call it hate or whatever you want to call it, but it's facts though, and it's irrefutable too. Oh man, they want us to be on BS. The white man, the system, Come on, cut it out, Bill. Cut that out. All that black power, cut that out. Because Bill Haney be disrespecting black fighters all the time, calling Tank Davis a monkey and all that, and y'all know it. Bill Haney disrespected me. I never called Bill Haney out of his name. I always referred to him as Bill Haney. I never insulted Bill Haney. Never disrespected Bill Haney. But he went on a platform that got 2.1 million subscribers over there at Fight Hub. And guess what? He called me a fake manager and everything. And ain't none of y'all defend me. So don't be in my live chat or my comments section or emailing me trying to defend him or calling me a hater, because bottom line is y'all know Bill Haney wrong. That's hypocritical to file a lawsuit against another boxer for battery, for a fight that happened inside the ring, but yet something that happened outside the ring at a carnival where the same person who was supposed to be victimized inside the ring, Devin Haney, victimized another civilian at a carnival and punched that man. And he's a professional boxer. Come on, y'all, cut it out. Let's keep it 100. Either do two things, click the like or click the link. Ooh, that's going to be my new slogan now, Lucky. Click the like or click the link. Click the like or click the link. Or you can do both. You don't have to disagree with me. You don't have to agree with me to click the link. If you have anything you want to say of substance, click it. We can talk about it. Can't nobody refute what I'm saying about Bill Haney. You can't refute what I just said about Floyd Schofield Senior or Brian Norman Senior. And speaking of Brian Norman Senior, I'm going to take my last 30 seconds and say this. I realized something. I said this the other day, but some of y'all wasn't here. I realized something about Brian Norman Sr. I get it now. Brian Norman Sr., he wants to fight Boots. Yeah, I said it. Go ask him and tell him what I said. Brian Norman Sr. wants to fight Boots. He doesn't want Brian Norman Jr., his son, to fight Boots. But Brian Norman Sr. wants to fight Boots through his son, Brian Norman Jr. You know what? I'm doing way too much talking. Oh, I'm not. I got to leave y'all with something. Something that I did in the middle of this show, but we have a new audience. The viewership is increasing exponentially, and some people was not here. So I'm going to play this last piece of audio as you are on your way out the back door. Because I had a question, and I'm sure I can ask it now. Because my man, shout out to my man D-Rock again. I played it earlier, but I'm going to play it again for the new audience members that just came in. Shout out to my guy D-Rock that sent me this early this morning. I have a question on this.
he supports Snack and how he takes Snack and his team takes Snack as well. This is how I feel about that shit. Good. Listen, bro. Snack doesn't top. We don't like that, it's associated with who I think is the biggest cheater in sports history. And he needs to bulk up and still keep his speed and explosiveness against Canelo. You remember what I said, dude, bathe in that shit. Don't even mix it and drink it. Drink it, eat it, throw the powder on, exfoliate with Snack, bro, because you're going to need every bit of it against Saul Canelo Alvarez. And I ain't joking. That's where I'm at. Take it, because Canelo Alvarez is way too much at 168.
I'm just trying to figure out, why wasn't Showbiz talking about Snack Vada and Victor Conti 2 years ago before I got on YouTube? I'm not mad at the guy. I'm just asking the question. Because these large content creators, medium-sized audiences, large audiences, and even the small ones, they're now starting to keep talking about it over and over again without giving the credit where it's due. I've done research on this for 15 years. And the things that you all learn from Snack or about Snack and Victor Conti and Vada, let's keep it all the way 100. And I was talking about this before the Netflix documentary even came out. And guess what? It wasn't as popular as it's popular now. Yeah. When I first started talking about it after the Spence Crawford fight, people was against me. A lot of people were against me, calling me a hater, insulting me, even disagreeing with me, right? But them same people, them same ones that's starting to come around and agree that I cracked this case wide open. All I'm saying is, when you talk about Snack, Victor Conti and or Vada, and you mention anything about it that you know in your heart as a content creator that you did not know before you encountered my content, all I ask you to do is say my name. Give credit to where it is due. You know what's appropriate? Shout out to Manager Marty. You know what's appropriate? I learned this from Manager Marty. You know what's appropriate? Like Manager Marty say, that should be the preface of every statement when you talk about that topic. And I also have to equally acknowledge 2 Cents Boxing. I have to equally acknowledge Deem by any means. And I have to equally acknowledge Fanon International Boxing. There may be more, but those are the 3 most notable that I can say off the top of my head that has acknowledged that on their content platforms. On their content platforms, when they mention that topic, they say 1 or 3 of the things that I just said should be preferenced. That's all I'm saying. I don't care if you got a small channel, medium channel, or large size channel. Say my name and give me my credit. Because it's good business, not because I want attention or recognition, because it's integrity when we talk about broadcast journalism. You quote somebody else, you got to identify the source when you quote them. I can go on and say other names who've been talking about this topic without giving me the credit where it is due. But I'm going to leave it alone because you know I don't sneak this. You know, I name drop. But I brought this discussion about Snack, Victor Conti, and Vada and married all 3 of them together and brought it to the forefront. I made it popular to talk about something that most people were scared to talk about. I made it cool to walk around and speak on it and know what you're talking about when you mention Snack, Victor Conti, and Vada with confidence because of things that I've taught on this channel. Clip after clip, content after content, video after video, slice of pizza after slice of pizza. Say my name when you speak on that topic. For real. That's real. I'm not mad at nothing. I'm just keeping it all the way 100. because it keeps happening over and over again. And then I don't say anything because I don't see it all the time. Oh, but when it come across my table, oh, I'm going to speak on that. There's people that didn't even watch my content because they didn't know who I was at first. But once the snacks start getting into the algorithm, let me put it on the screen so people can see what's going on. Let me put it on the screen so they'll know what we talking about here today before I let y'all go. Bam, there it is right there. There's people that didn't even know who I was on YouTube. But once they start getting into the feed on their YouTube channel, and they start clicking on it and learning, and I'm presenting facts, huh? People start to believe now. I made it cool to believe. Hashtag say my name. Thank you, all things. I made it cool to talk about this topic on YouTube. Huh? Comfortably, too. People doing videos about snack. Real comfortable. They real comfortable, Lucky. They real comfortable, man. They talking about Victor Conti. Real comfortably. They talking about Vada. They real comfortable when they speak on that. Say my name, man. I'm not mad. I might be a little animated, but on some real stuff, I'm not mad. Y'all ain't know nothing about it before me. And guess what? Even if you did, why you ain't speak on it before I became a YouTuber? They wasn't speaking on that. How do I know? Because I done asked everybody that I know that been on YouTube. Content creator and friends of mine and family members and just supporters in general that watch, a lot of content creators. Let's keep it all the way 100. Yeah, when you speak on that topic, don't say my name. It ain't no beef. We don't even have to debate about it and go back and forth. Yo, say my name when you speak on that. And guess what? Here's the proof, and I'm going to let you go with this. I'm the only non-athlete in the history of boxing that got a promo code in my name with Snack. All the other fighters and athletes that promote Snack, they got a promo code with their name in it. I'm the only non-athlete. Have my name etched in stone with a promo code that was issued to me personally by Victor Conti himself. And this was after I dropped videos on him. And guess what? Every video I did and said about Victor before he got here, I intensified it after he left. I ain't lose no step. And I ain't act different in front of him when he got here. But guess what? You know more about it because of me. And guess what? Every time you see a Snack fighter, you know how many times my phone ring with phone calls, text messages, notifications through emails and DMs? When a fighter get in the ring and people see that Snack logo, they reach out to me like I own the company. I'm talking about fans of boxing, you know what I mean? I made people comfortable to talk about this controversial topic. Say my name. I did the research 15 years. I did my homework. And there's way more, too, that I ain't even let out. But I'm just saying, that's all I'm saying. When you talk about it, you content creators, just give me credit where it's due. Just like I would do other content creators when I use their audio. I circle it. I tell y'all, this is the date that was published. This is the content creator who interviewed this person, that person. This is the audio I'm using. I salute them. I give them credit. So I'm asking for the same in return when we talk about integrity. Now I can end the show with, I'm doing way too much talking. Don't take my word for it.